Hey there, good afternoon, good morning, whatever time it is where you are. My name is Michael Hamilton. I'm one of the founders of Swell Beach Bungalows, which is a boutique brand of vacation rentals. And we've achieved some different accolades. We have top performing properties, top ranked properties in the marketplaces in which we do business. And today I'm going to explain the E-Myth principle and how that's applied to vacation rentals and AirBnBs and why did this even come up. We've had guest visitors. We've had hundreds and hundreds of guest visitors. We've had friends. We've had fellow investors ask us, how have you built your business? How have you been able to run your business, whether you're traveling, whether you're living on the West Coast of the U.S. And your business is based on the East Coast? They've asked these sorts of questions, and it really relates to this principle right here, which I'm going to go over in detail and how it's applied to vacation rentals. So the principle is the E-Myth principle, and it comes to us from Michael Gerber. Michael Gerber is a small business guru. He's been a consultant. He's consulted with many, many different businesses, a lot of small businesses. And, a few decades ago, he wrote this book, The E-Myth. And you can see the tagline there is why most small businesses don't work and what to do about it. And as vacation rental owners, we are small business owners. And so these principles can apply. Now, what we're not telling people to do here is what to do. We're not telling anybody what to do. We're simply showcasing a business philosophy, a philosophy that we've adopted into our business that does allow us to have more freedom, have more options, to scale our business, to not get stuck really working in the business. And so I'll start with what is the E-Myth? Well, the E in this title here stands for the entrepreneur's myth. And the entrepreneur's myth is that you're going to start a business, it's going to be really successful, you're going to get your time back, and you're going to get wealthy off of it. And the reality is, the unfortunate reality is, for most small business owners, I'm going to include vacation rental owners in that too, it's not what it looks like when they get started. They run into all the different technical tasks of a business. And for example, in the vacation rental business, we're talking about cleaning, we're talking about guest communications, we're talking about manager inventory, managing your cleaners, managing all different things, your furnishings, the repairs, the maintenance, and all of these sorts of things. So Michael Gerber actually tells this version of the book through the story of a woman that is a fantastic baker, and her friends say to her, "Hey, you should start a bakery business." And so she gets this great idea to start a business. And what happens to her is that she gets stuck working in the business, and she fails to have enough time to work on the business. So unfortunately, she doesn't reach her results. There's a lot of time input, not a lot of financial output. And when these situations endure for some time, what's likely to happen for most people is they get frustrated if they're not getting the result that they're looking for, if it's not worth it in terms of time investment and financial reward. Usually they get frustrated and they give up and they try to figure out something else. So what the entrepreneur's myth tells us is that most owners get stuck working in the business. They get stuck in the weeds, the technical tasks, and they fail to have enough time to work on the business. Now, it's really fun to work on the business, but it's not as much fun to get stuck working in the business. So I have this triangle here on the right-hand side, and so the technician roles are characterized by constant work and struggle and very low payoff. So what's a technical task? That's cleaning a house. It's absolutely essential, but it is something that somebody can be taught and trained to do and do well, especially if we have a process in place that guides them along that, so that they reduce the likelihood of making mistakes. Now, the manager's role is characterized by maybe moderate payoff, but there's still a lot of work. There's still a lot of trading time for money. And truly, what we believe the entrepreneur's role is to do is to set up the system, the platform, the different tools, provide the different tools, and empower people that are technicians to do their job really, really well. And before I get to the next slide, I was just going to point out something on the bottom left-hand corner there. And it's a question. And the question reads, why can some people own many successful businesses, and yet most people struggle to start one business, struggle to do one business successfully? And what my mentors have taught me is that it's about the approach. You look at examples of the Warren Buffetts, the Richard Bransons, the individuals that have 10 plus businesses that run successfully. And yet most people struggle to start one successfully. It's not anything crazy. What it really is at the end of the day, it's their approach. It's how they're thinking about their business. What are the principles that they're applying into it? We're going to take a little bit of a deeper dive into that. So before we get started here too, it's important to take inventory of how many hours there are in a week. Now, so I'm going to pause here for a moment. How many hours are there in a week? Some of you are thinking and guessing 40 hours. That's the number of hours in a work week. Maybe you're saying it's 24 times 7. If you're saying that, you're correct. Now, what that number comes to is 168 hours in a week. That's the same number of hours Warren Buffett has. That's the same number of hours I have, that you have, that every individual has on the planet. Every one of us has 168 hours in a week. And so when I learned that, and that was shared with me, I said to myself, why can some people achieve so much or accomplish so much, and yet some other people don't? They don't accomplish very much. They don't accumulate maybe very much wealth. What is this? And I like most people, grown up in a traditional household. I didn't have entrepreneurs as parents. I didn't have business owners as parents. So it was a little bit later in life when I started to get shared these principles. And I'm really grateful because I learned more from being around millionaires and people that had results that I was looking for than, I learned in college and after getting graduate degree in international business and stuff like that. So, not too long ago, somebody pointed me in the direction of this book by a prominent business author as well, Peter Drucker, and it's called The Effective Executive. In chapter number 1 of this book, he starts out with know thy time. He starts out with this particular problem right now. It's the problem of there's never enough time to do everything in a business, right? So if we know our time, if we know that we're starting with 168 hours in a week, well, now we can design our processes, our business model in a way to focus on priorities, but also get things done too that maybe aren't the highest and best use of our time. So a couple questions that I have here. Number one is speed a competitive advantage? And I think you're going to say yes. I don't know of any examples where I can see that that speed is not a competitive advantage as long as it's giving us the result that we'd like to achieve. And so what that means is that we have more time to focus on other activities, to build our business, to work on our business, to have more time doing whatever it is that you want to do, and not being stuck in the operational realities of any business. So question number 2 here is, how can an owner get more time? Well, sometimes people think that they have to be doing everything to get something done. And the reality is that's not true. You could be 100% committed to your business, but not be the one putting in 100% of the time. So I'll say that again. You could be 100% committed to your business, but not be the one putting in 100% of the time. Well, how can you do that? Well, we can leverage technology. A lot of you listening here may have vacation rentals and you have listing sites. And the beautiful thing about those listing sites or your online sites that takes your reservations is that it's working 24/7. It's working while you're sleeping. Here's another example. Everybody has a choice. There's some owners that want to respond to every single inquiry or question that comes in from a guest. That's okay. It's not wrong or right to choose to do that. But another owner might choose to put in a technology like Smart B&B that has automated responses for the common redundant communications that could be there. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to do every communication that way, but there are probably well over 50% of communications that can be done automated. So we can implement technologies. Another way to do this too is to implement a process that's reproducible. right? And, we can all go and clean a house. Now, I'm not the best cleaner, I know that. But what I can do is say, what are the results, what are the outcomes that I want, and develop a checklist so that we can empower another individual to get the same exact result that we want. So now we're not cleaning, right? But we have a defined outcome of the expectations for the cleaner. It also helps them do their job best. It implements accountability and those sorts of things. So by having technology and reproducible processes, we can get more time back. And essentially what we're doing is we're leveraging other people's time, and we're leveraging technology. So here's an example of the E-Myth principle applied. Everybody knows McDonald's, and whether you like it or not, that's not the point here. And I bet all of us can fire up a grill, pull out whatever our preferred meat is, add some spices to it, and probably all of us are going to make a better hamburger. Maybe not all of us. I know some people that probably wouldn't make that good of a hamburger than McDonald's. But the reality is most people would probably make a better, more delicious hamburger than McDonald's, right? Now, at the end of the day, McDonald's is going to sell more hamburgers than all of us. It's McDonald's system that unlocks the freedom for the owner of that. And very rarely do we see the owner of the McDonald's dunking the hash browns into the hot oil or flipping the patties or whatever it is. So, this is the principle that we see at a very high level in the most successful franchise businesses. And so what it is every successful business is a series of systems. And reproducible systems like checklists, different processes, technologies will give us predictable results. So another example of that is when we go to Bali, Indonesia, or we go to Hawaii, or you go to the Outer Banks of North Carolina, you go to San Diego, you go to Panama, you go to Toronto. Wherever you go, you order a Big Mac, their process to produce that, their recipe to produce that, the ingredients are reproducible. So we're going to get a predictable Big Mac. The Big Mac here is going to taste the same as the Big Mac there. And another point on that too is you can look at new openings of businesses. McDonald's are opening up, all the time. They're opening up in emerging markets. They're still opening up in established markets as well. And the very first day a new McDonald's opens and serves its first Big Mac, it has the same result as the ones that have come before it. So this is a really, really powerful concept. The reproducible systems are going to give us predictable results. And what that allows us to do is move up from a technician to a manager to the entrepreneur. When we have a reproducible system, we can fire ourselves, empower technology, a person, and now get back to working on the business and continuing to move up there. So how do we develop systems for a business? Now, in this book, Michael Gerber has a quote, and he says, "Build your business as if one day you were going to sell it. Document everything." So, for example, I gave the scenario of training cleaners, right? So we have a specific set of outcomes that we want to see. By documenting all of that, for example, a lot of people have problems with dust bunnies under bed, or I've heard of some pretty gnarly scenarios where there's been condom wrappers left under beds. I mean, what a horrifying situation for one of your guests to bump into that, and how that could impact their experience. So by having the granular things in there, as well as, have you checked for dust bunnies or any debris under the beds? That's going to allow that person to have a high probability of success, and it's in black and white so that they can make sure those things are there. Now, I do have an asterisk next to this, because it's not document anything. It's document proven processes. So, for example, we only document our proven processes. Proven processes are the ones that provide us the results that we desire over and over again. They're not the failures, they're the wins. So there can be some trial and error in this process, and there can be some testing. So again, the point is not to document anything. It's really about documenting the working systems, your proven processes. And so when you document these, now we can hand them off. We're starting to build our systems. We're starting to build our business model and what it is that the specific results and the outcomes that we want to achieve over and over again. So here's an example that's near to us, applied applied to vacation rental listings. So, as things are getting more competitive and people are getting more excited about the vacation rental, the Airbnb space, there are companies that are sprouting up that provide analytics. They provide analytics and they can also provide rankings. One of these you may have heard of is called AirDNA. AirDNA looks at all Airbnb listings. They have technology that scraps data, and they're able to aggregate things and come up with estimates of average daily rates, occupancy for specific marketplaces, and then they also rank the top properties. So one of the things that we're grateful for, we're also really proud of as well, is we have 3 properties in our portfolio that are ranked within the top 10 in our marketplace in Kill Devil Hills. So, you can see over here on the left-hand side, the Magical Bungalow. The last time I checked it, it's held the #1 spot, has held the #1 spot for a very, very long time. It's one of the most desirable properties in the marketplace. The Avalon Beach Bungalow is another one. It's the last time we've checked it, it ranked 6. It's a smaller property. It's only a 2-bedroom, 1 bath. It actually competes with 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom properties in terms of its income generation. And this is not an accident. This is from testing, measuring, applying concepts like the E-Myth principle, and continuing to refine and trying to get better. And then the last one here is number 9, the Chill Beach and Surf Bungalow. This one too, has some things that it's not the closest to the beach, yet it ranks and competes with some oceanfront properties. And so, again, that's something that we're grateful for. But how do we do this? Well, we did this because we applied a process to the listings. We have, skill sets. We have other people that have helped us develop influential listing copy. We've implemented only professional photographers. We're looking at the titles. We're testing and measuring. And over time, we've been able to document every single win, every single thing that adds value to our listings, and that helps us create these types of properties. So we've documented that. That resource is actually called the Ninja Vacation Rental and Airbnb Marketing System. And the note down here that I have is that all these books that I've mentioned, the E-Myth, the Effective Executive, and resources like AirDNA, all of that can be found on our Vacation Rentals resources page. A page that we're putting together so that people have a place to go that like what they see. If you like these kind of results, these are the tools, these are the processes that we use internally that may be able to help you as well. So what's our Live Swell proven process? This is what our business model looks like, and I'll take you through it really, really quickly. So step number 1, what we do is we find and identify properties at a discount from fair market value. Now, typically they're the undesirable properties, the properties that are on the market a long time. There are properties that are not on the market, properties that are difficult to finance. We have different financing systems that we can come in with. We're not traditional buyers. We can raise money, do all sorts of stuff like this, do creative financing options to acquire properties. And then what we do, our step number 2, is to renovate the properties. We renovate our properties with specific predetermined scopes of work, and we do that to force the appreciation of the asset. And forcing the appreciation of the asset gives us more equity, gives us some options. Step number 3, we implement our experience package and our rental ready checklist. So that gets the property ready for photos and all the different value adds that we're adding in there. Step number 4 was the one that I was just mentioning. So our Ninja Vacation Rental and Airbnb listing marketing system is implemented, after the renovation, after the property has been staged and the make ready's implemented right there. So I'm not going to go any further here. I did recently write a book on this. I wrote a book on this, Vacation Rental Confidential. It's going to be available at the end of March of 2019. And really what it is showcasing the approach of our business, our proven process, and giving people a choice, giving them the choice to say, hey, look, I like this. This could help me get results faster, and taking out some of the guesswork to the trial and error. So to recap this presentation here, the E-Myth applied to vacation rentals, what have we learned? So in Michael Gerber's The E-Myth, Why Most Small Businesses Don't Work and What to Do About It, we learned that most business owners, vacation rental owners, they get stuck working in the business. And as a result, they fail to have enough time to work on the business. And so what Michael Gerber teaches as well is to build your business as if one day you're going to sell it. Document everything. Document your proven processes. Don't just document anything. Document the things that are giving us the results that we desire. And as we do that, we can teach and train and empower others or put in place a technology to help us do it faster, right? Speed is a competitive advantage, which allows us more time to either work on the business or do other things. So the next book right there, Peter Drucker, Know Thy Time. Know Thy Time is chapter number 1. There's 168 hours in 1 week. How are you using yours? How are you thinking about time, right? Time and commitment are not directly related. A person can be 100% committed to their business, but not be the one putting in 100% of the time. So if we have reproducible systems, we're going to have predictable results. And that's going to help us unlock freedom, just like the same way that the McDonald's owner is not necessarily the one doing the day-to-day operations. And then lastly, Vacation Rental Confidential is out in March of 2019. And that is the documented, proven processes of the Swell business model. And we've hosted well over 500 groups at this point in different properties, different styles, different marketplaces. We've helped other people in different marketplaces too. So we have that experience. And don't forget to check out liveswell.com/vacation rental resources for any of these resources and other resources that we use personally in our business to help us get those top performing properties, top ranking properties and stuff like that.